Hello and welcome back to another episode of White Album 2. We are currently playing through Mari-san's route of the closing chapter. Mari-san got called into work late at night, leaving Haruki back home to ponder things for himself. I realized that those words of mine just now were exactly as Mari-san had pointed out. I picked out a shirt for her in an attempt to pass the mistake off.
いろいろと言いたいことはあるが、今日のところは私が悪いからここまでにしとく。
マリさんは別に悪くなんか。
ごめんな。私の方から誘っておいて、こんなことになってしまって。
With her arms through the shirt that I brought out, Mari-san's shoulders dropped just a little.
大事な仕事なんだから仕方ないです。もともとの優先度通りですよ。
お前には物足りなかったんじゃないか。今日こそは私が導いてやろうと思ってたのに、結局またいいようにもてあそばれただけだったし。
Even if you reflect on it that way, you're only making me really bothered by that.
渡した鍵は持って帰って構わない。いつ帰ってもいいし、ずっといてもいい。帰る。
始発動き出したら帰りますよ。家主のいない部屋にずっといていいわけがないですから。2日も寝続けてた俺が言ってもしょうがないですけど。
本当にしょうがないな。そんな些細なことを気にするなんて。
Putting on her skirt and adjusting her fastener, Mari-san finally produces her persona from the editorial department. Lastly, taking a bottle of perfume, she sprays her neck several times to erase the scent of our affair. Don't call it an affair, it's not an affair.
じゃあな。行ってくる。
いってらっしゃ。
In a flash, our lips were pressed together, and in an instant, they separated. Even though she went through all the trouble to get rid of my scent, she's got the order of these things completely wrong.
なんか
なあって言われても何ですか一体。
眠ってる男にキスして仕事に向かうとか、レディコミとかで見かけると虫唾が走るシチュエーションだと思ってたけど。
読んでるんですかそんなもの。
いざ自分がその立場になると、いいなあこれ。ほんと人間って都合のいい生き物だよな。
マリさん。
Her expression showed that she was acting a little too strangely.
それじゃあ改めて
いってらっしゃい。
And it's making me feel quite pleasant for some reason. I don't know, maybe because you love her or something? Just a guess. And the house is clean once again. I'm sorry. I have plans for Sunday. I promised Takahiro that I'd get him a reference book. As usual, he's such a carefree younger brother, even though he has entrance exams in less than a month. I wonder if he even has the intention of studying properly this year? In any case, that's how it is, so I'm sorry. Talk to you next time, alright? See, Setsuna clearly doesn't want to talk to Haruki, or she's too scared to talk to him, but at that point, like, they're broken up. I still don't see the reason why they have to talk. I thought Saturday was bad, so I tried for Sunday, but it's no good for her on that day, and not only that, but Saturday would have been open for her. Inviting her out today would be strange, so I guess I'll invite her somewhere on a weekday next week. Still, with the way Setsuna and I are right now, I wonder if we're going out of our way to avoid one another. Maybe you should just leave it at that. It's probably better that I wait here for Mari-san to return.
はあ？何言ってんだよ姉ちゃん。俺が今どんな立場にあるのか分かってるわけ？
ね、お昼ご飯おごってあげるからさ、たまには姉ちゃんとデートもいいでしょ？
勘弁してよ、この年になって。俺日曜は予備校の学習室行く予定なの。
なら大学の図書館行こうよ。空いてるし、私も勉強見てあげられるし。
とにかく俺は忙しいの。そんなに暇だったら北原さんとデートでもしてろよ。
それだけはできないの、今は。
She's not even... Oh my god. They're not even dating. I'm sorry about that. Oh, Takahiro-kun's about to take his entrance exams, huh? I was convinced that he'd get a recommendation, but tell him I wish him good luck. What university does he want to be accepted to? One of the top universities, or perhaps a local one? Regardless, please give him my regards and tell him to do his best. It's not like we've taken an entrance exam before, however, so while I can't really give him any concrete advice, I do hope he'll pass on the first attempt. That's why you shouldn't be concerned about what happened yesterday. It's only natural that you'd prioritize something so important. Although, I still need to talk to you at some point, preferably as soon as possible as well. I'd like to meet up with you this week. As for my schedule, with the exception of Wednesday, I usually have nothing going on after 5 p.m. If possible, I'd like it to be either today or tomorrow. How does sometime after 5 o'clock sound? I'll wait for your reply. At some point, you just gotta give it up, you know? Again, I'm very sorry. This is so awkward. Every single text is started with some "I'm sorry." As for which one he's aiming for, it's a real surprise. Can you believe he's actually going for Hojo University's political economics department? He's slacked so much, he's been dropped from the recommendation list. I think he placed in the last 100 in the middle of the second term. And as the class representative too, you know? That, and initially we thought it'd be fine if he applied to a different university, but now he's nagging adamantly about wanting to go to Hojo. My parents are sighing hopelessly about it. He's throwing out his class responsibilities as an excuse for not having the time to properly study. Well, I guess I can't say he didn't put in a lot of effort for the school festival. Although, after I mentioned a certain valedictorian who managed to graduate at the top of his grade despite being so dedicated to both the school festival and class responsibilities 3 years ago, he didn't seem to have anything else to say. Any ideas, Mr. Valedictorian? That's why you should give some suggestions to my lackadaisical younger brother. It'd be great if you could lecture him as usual. Ah, that reminds me. I'm sorry, I didn't notice my cell phone ran out of battery yesterday. I just saw this text 30 minutes ago, at 11 p.m. on Tuesday. Between today and yesterday, 2 days have already passed. I'm sorry I couldn't reply due to my carelessness. Please change the date again. Hoy. Well then, good night. Come on, this is so dumb. Again, I'm very sorry. That's not... Well, tell him to continue to work hard for the time being then. Actually, I too was in pretty bad shape for the final exams after the festival. I guess I'm misunderstood now, because I've already gained such a reputation. That's why I get what Takahiro-kun's dealing with, I guess. Being a class representative is really packed with responsibilities, to the point where you'd occasionally want someone to take your place as soon as possible to ease the burden. Well, as for rescheduling the meeting, I'm still open on Thursday and Friday after 5 p.m. I don't mind a later time either. I'm also free before noon on Friday. If you happen to bump into me on campus, I'm completely okay with talking with you over lunch at a family restaurant or something. I don't mind if it's only for a short time. I just want to meet up with you, and there's something I need to tell you face to face. I understand that I'm being unreasonable here. Even so, I hope you'll reply to me as soon as you can. Again, I'm very sorry. It's 1:30 a.m. at the moment. When I walked past my brother's room after taking a shower, what leaked out wasn't light, but instead the sound of snoring. I really wonder if he'll be alright. What are you up to, Haruki-kun? Well, I can probably guess without even asking. You're preparing for final exams, aren't you? You've always had the habit of studying 2 weeks before exams, even back when we were in high school after all. No, that's not exactly the most accurate way to put it now, is it? After all, you never seem to be worried before exams, given you never slack on studying and preparing for classes on a regular basis. As for me, I'm slacking right now like I used to, it seems. That's why I'm having a study meeting with my friends after lectures are over. It's something that we're calling a copy meeting. Everyone's going to be bringing their own notebooks and we'll be meeting up at the photocopy shop quite a distance away from the university. After we finished the photocopying, we were thinking about assorting our materials and having a study meeting afterward. We don't really know when we'll finish. Even so, and I know that I have to apologize again, but I've yet to work out my plans for Thursday, let alone Friday. I'll text you after I properly organize my schedule. I'm really sorry for flaking on you. Man, this is so annoying. Again, I'm very sorry. It's just that I shouldn't have been saying those things despite knowing that we're preparing for exams. After all, it's the final exams we're talking about here, so it's a life or death situation for most people who want to advance into their 4th year. Well, I know you won't end up in a state like that though, Setsuna. You've always been so prudent one way or another. Please send me a text once you've finalized your schedule. Though it's less than 3 days until the exams come, so you don't have to force yourself that much either. However, if you can't make it today or tomorrow, I hope you can make some time for me after the exams are over. It's been a whole month since I last saw you. I guess that makes me feel a little lonely. That's not a good thing to say. Don't say that. Well then, good luck on your exams. After I press the send button, I slump on my bed as if I were instantly depleted of energy. The splinters have yet to fall out. My chest is still heavy with worries. It's 11:30 p.m. on Friday. I'll text you after I properly organize my schedule. Setsuna is supposed to have contacted me by now, but I've not received her next text yet. It's been almost 2 weeks since I proposed that we should talk face to face. Now imagine how everyone else feels when you were doing the same thing to everybody, Haruki. During that period, we were unable to make time for the two of us to meet up. Regardless of how many times we rearranged it, we'd still miss it in the end. I think she kept missing it. I would not even include you. You've been very open. I'd gathered my determination to tell her everything, to give her an answer, a decision that's as heavy as it is cruel. But I've been indecisive for more than 10 days, and the resolve that I desperately tried to hold on to ended up dwindling heavily. Could it be that... No, I don't think I should consider it merely a possibility. Setsuna's trying to avoid me, isn't she? If that's really the case, it was inevitable, due to a variety of reasons. Her breakdown on Christmas Eve, the excessively long cold period that ensued after that, me taking days to reply to Setsuna's texts. I wouldn't be surprised if she's exhausted her patience. It would be odd if she didn't come to resent me for all I've done. That's why I've been rejected by Setsuna. Even something as simple as asking for us to meet up again and talk isn't something that can be granted anymore. I'd be convinced of that possibility if it weren't for the fact that I'm still receiving texts from her daily, though. Next week, my final exams will start. It will be another 2 weeks from then. The 1-month period, which I've been unable to meet up with Setsuna, grows ever longer. We're keeping up this unresolved, half-dead state, whereby neither of us is capable of advancing, retreating, or reaching any other conclusion. I can't let that happen. Not advancing forward because of the other's attitude is ultimately no different from running away. Can I just say that this whole back and forth has been the most boring part of the entire White Album 2 game. Like, nothing is happening. The only issue we've had were the series of time lags through our texting times. Perhaps I should call her directly? Or perhaps I should just approach her directly, face to face? Preventing Setsuna from running away, and stopping myself from running away as well. That's why I...
北原どうしたんだ
マリさん
Aww. I'm really the worst of the worst. You're not. You're literally not.
ああ、まだ会社。大丈夫。今は私しかいないから。
そうですか。よかった。
なんだそんな暗い声出して。試験が終わるまで私に会えないのがそんなに辛いのか？なんてな。こういう冗談は下手だからやめとく。またお前にセンスないとか笑われるのも。え？
少し辛いです。マリさん、次の休みいつですか？
北原、お前がそういう考えなしなことを口走るたびに私がどんなに揺さぶられてるのか分かってるのか？
Aww, embarrassing.
明日か明後日かどっちか休みじゃないんですか？
人の話をちゃんと聞け。もしからかってるんだったら二度とお前の電話には出ないからな。
会いたいです。
ああ、もうやめろやめてくれ。お前のそのセリフは仕事に支障が出る。
すいません。
Really, I'm just the worst. I'm throwing all my bottled up, half-baked emotions of confusion and uncertainty at the person who's the most convenient. And this is despite the fact that I know that she considers all this very troublesome to her.
なあ、北原。お前さ、来週の月曜から期末試験だよな。だからバイトもしばらく休んだんだよな。
はい、そうです。
だったらさ、私と個人的に会うのだって。試験が終わるまでは。
She wants him to take things seriously. She cares about people who work hard.
そうなんですけどね。俺もそのつもりだったんですけどね。
It's so difficult to keep it all in, though.
我慢できないのか？そんなに私と。
マリさん、俺
I'm absolutely deplorable, cowardly, and devious, though I'm also truly lavishiously calculative. I'm taking advantage of her kindness and her sisterly demeanor, confidently fabricating my miserable state.
でも
Will you look at that? She's already become this confused. That's just the kind of person Mari-san is.
私は言ったよな。男と付き合うにしても仕事優先だって。
言いました。
それはつまり大学生のお前には 学業優先を望んでるということで。
はい。
しかもお前は親のすねかじりなのだから、なおさら。
初日の試験必ず U を取ります。マリさんに会えても絶対に成績を落としません。
そんな口約束。
ちゃんと成績表も渡します。もし取れてなければしばらく会いません。
北原、お前そんなに今すぐ私に会いたいのか？
はい、会いたいです。
そうか。分かったよ。明日は無理だけど日曜ならなんとか。
マリさん。
Well, will you look at that?
でもちゃんと試験対策はするんだぞ。一科目でも落としたら承知しないから。
部屋で勉強しながら待ってます。
Mari-san's truly a wonderful person deep down. It's impossible that she'd bring herself to tear off my unreasonable feelings, drenched in darkness.
それと掃除とか食事の支度とか無理しなくていいんだぞ。試験期間中だということを忘れるな。
できる範囲でならいいですよね。
度を越すなよ。私がますますお前に依存するから。
Aww.
気をつけます。
You really need to be mindful. You really need to sort this crud out before you end up hurting her. Because I'm just worried about the way he's gonna phrase it. That's why you're really hopeless, Mari-san. It's hard for me not to want to rely on you.
それじゃあ日曜日日付変わる前には帰れると思うけど、仕事終わったら連絡入れるから。じゃ。なんだよあいつ。こっちの締め切りなんて何も考えてない。今週あたりはやばいって知ってるはずなのに。もう日曜まで寝てる暇ないな。今から一度帰ってシャワー浴びて着替えてすぐに戻ってくるか。
No, that's not healthy.
参ったな。とんだ猿を飼ってしまった。
Jeez. I don't want to read another text if it's from Setsuna. Oh, here we go. I'm really sorry. I'm walking home from my friend's house right now. In the end, I ended up sticking with my friends for the whole of Saturday. Do you know Yumi? Fukagawa Yumi from the Political Economics Department? The four of us gathered at her place, and after distributing our copied notes, we ended up studying for a bit too. Though I suppose trying to study immediately after copying our notes wasn't really productive. As I expected, we ended up going through a cycle of studying for 1 hour and chatting for 2 hours afterward. We even enjoyed a borrowed movie in the middle of all that. While we did have a lot of fun, it was the only thing we got out of it. I wonder if we're ready for the exams after studying like that. I'm sorry. And so it has already become Sunday. In the end, I don't seem to have a plan for my exams tomorrow, so I just can't go out today. I'm really sorry for constantly rescheduling like this. However, I'll definitely make some time after the exams are over. After all, it's going to be spring break after them, right? That's why for now, we should focus on the exams that we're about to face. Could we do that? Before us at the moment, is that no good? And I know I'm going to sound a bit brazen, but I have a request, if you don't mind. I know it's impossible for us to meet up in the middle of exams, but can we continue texting each other like this? I won't send you multiple texts a day. I just want to relax and liven things up a little. Good luck tomorrow. Bye. In the end, not a single sentence from Setsuna's texts mentioned anything outside my expectations. I'd already expected that we wouldn't be able to meet each other this weekend after all, and that's because of where I'm currently at right now. As the broth begins to boil, I turn down the gas and put the lid back on again after tasting it. It's been over 30 minutes since I got a call from her saying she'll be home soon. I'll add in the fish and vegetables right after she gets home and finish the preparations for dinner while she changes. Yay, house husband! All so we can spend the short time we have together and see one another for as long as possible. I'm really sorry. I understand you have a lot going on. Let's work hard on our exams. See you. My finger inches toward the send button after I finish typing merely 3 lines, but pauses before I can press it. I've written this text a little too callously. Had I sent such a callous text, who knows how much courage Setsuna would have to build up before replying with her next text. I've always been chasing after her since that day, so when was it that I returned to running away again? You're not running away! Literally, you've been chasing her for 2 weeks. At some point, you gotta just be like, you know what? She doesn't want to see me, so I'm just gonna stop. We've yet to come up with any conclusion, dragging things out as they are. Oh, and you can text me anytime, except for when I'm in the middle of exams, bathing, or before I go to sleep. To me, your texts are a source of strength. That's why I'll wait for you. Don't say it like that. After adding some more lines to my text after thinking it through again, I'm now taken aback at just how unpleasantly I've written them. I'm continuing my futile conversations with her with no light at the end of the tunnel, even as I'm staying over in an apartment of another woman. My lies towards Setsuna pile up at an alarming rate with each passing day. They really don't. What is he lying about? Nothing. We need to come up with a conclusion, but that's easier said than done. It's unclear whether this is because somebody willed for things to turn out this way, or it's just the simple fact that we keep missing the right opportunity to meet one another. That's why I'm also getting more and more vulnerable to another woman. Vulnerable. You're in love with her! You better be in love with her because you told her you were.
Tadaima!
Aww, she's so sweet and she's working so hard for him.
おかえりなさい。
As I open the door, Mari-san wraps her arms around me without even thinking of taking her boots off first. For a moment, a mildly irritating smell wafts into my nose.
いやー、悪かった遅くなって。日をまたがずに帰れるかと思ったんだけど、最後の最後で編集。
マリさん、飲んで。
It's not just the smell. The plastic bag wrapped around the bottle of wine with an unsealed cap that she brought back from a convenience store also supports my presumption.
一緒に飲もうと思って買ってきたんだけど、帰るまで我慢できなくてな。
Yeah, drinking in public in Japan is actually legal. Boggles my mind, but it is.
とにかく靴を。ほら、脱がせますよ。
うん。ほら、くすぐった。
Ignoring Mari-san's slightly cheerful attitude, which is unnatural, I go out of my way to embrace the lower half of her body and remove her boots. It's getting quite chilly outside. The cold soles of her feet confirm that.
疲れた。寒かった。眠かった。帰り道、凍え死んじゃうかと思ったわよ。
お疲れ様です。ほら、少し休んでてください。その間に食事の用意しますから。
She's so happy with her little house husband. I bring Mari-san farther into her apartment and have her sit on the bed. I slowly let out a sigh as Mari-san gives no resistance, which only serves to make my efforts more difficult due to how sluggish her movements are. It's true that she drank wine straight from the bottle on her way home, but the way she's making one careless action after another really makes me feel like there's a big difference between the woman I'm seeing right now and the woman I spoke to on the phone yesterday. I mean, that's fair. Your work persona is definitely different than your home persona in most cases, especially Mari-san's. So, we will stop there for today. Thank you so much for joining me on this chapter of White Album 2, Mari-san's Route, and I'll be back with more in the future. Until then, I hope you take care. See you!